long before this shadowed age, before the heavens grew heavy with distant stars, there was a single moment, a quiet moment, a gentle vision. A giant stands beneath a pale horizon. His form is vast, yet weary. His presence carries a fate not yet fulfilled. A faint glow of grace touches him. Soft, calm, almost tender, it calls him toward the lands between. For a long time, he does not move. He only watches. Then slowly, he turns away. He walks toward the light of morning, and the night ends before it begins. A strange ending, a quiet paradox. Yet within this brief vision lies the meaning of Nightreign. This tale does not erase the world that exists. It speaks of another path, a path that almost came to pass, a history that nearly unfolded, a reality where night was not denied, but allowed to grow. Nightreign exists within a broken flow of time, a world born from disorder, a world shaped by the aftermath of the shattering. The shattering was not only a war, it was the breaking of existence itself. Law fractured, fate lost direction, time became uncertain, reality loosened its hold, and from this fracture, another world took form, a world where forces, once restrained, were free to awaken. One of those forces was the night. But what is the night? It is not simple darkness. It is not the turning of day into evening. The night is a natural force, like fire, like storm, like slow decay. It does not hate. It does not judge. It does not choose. It simply arrives, as evening follows day, as silence follows sound. Long before the night threatened the world, there were those who waited for its arrival. Deep beneath the earth lived a hidden people. They abandoned the surface. They turned their gaze toward distant stars. They believed an age of shadow would one day come. They awaited a Lord born from darkness. They believed the coming of night could not be stopped. To them, night was not disaster. It was destiny. Yet their promised age never arrived, for the world above had been shaped to prevent it. The Golden Order desired stability above all. Its vision of existence was one of perfect control. Everything must remain fixed. Everything must remain ordered. Anything that threatened balance was restrained. Death was sealed. Rot was hidden. Flame was condemned. Fate itself was bound. And so, the night was restrained. The Erdtree filled the world with endless radiance. Its golden light spread across land and horizon. It washed away shadow. It reshaped the rhythm of existence. Where darkness cannot exist, the stars cannot be seen. And where the stars cannot be seen, fate becomes unclear. For in this world, the stars guide destiny. They reveal paths yet to unfold. They speak the language of what may come. By hiding the stars, the Golden Order did more than bring light. It limited destiny itself. Yet the night endured, hidden, waiting, like a vast tide held behind a fragile barrier. It gathered beyond sight. It grew patient. It grew silent, for the night represents something the order could not allow. Balance. The night comes to all without difference. It does not favor rulers. It does not abandon the weak. It grants no special blessing. It embraces all things equally. And in this way, it stands opposite the golden order. Where grace selects, the night accepts. Where order creates hierarchy, the night removes difference. Where eternal light promises control, the night restores balance. From this tension, a figure emerged, a being known as the Night Lord, not a ruler crowned by followers, not a god born from worship, a vessel, a presence through which night could enter the world. Those who faced the servants of night sometimes recovered a strange object, a fragment called the Trace of Night. It depicts something vast, something beyond mortal form. Many believe it suggests a cosmic power, a presence not bound to the world, yet able to influence it. For beyond the reach of grace exist outer powers, forces that embody natural truths. Decay, blood, change, and perhaps the night itself. In distant lands stands a pale tree, white, silent, without life. It stretches upward as if in supplication. Then something answers. A distant light descends from the cosmos. Cold, remote, unfamiliar, the tree opens like a vessel and receives this power, not the light of grace, the power of night. A new order struggles to take form, an order untouched by the golden order. This power did not begin with the Night Lord. It came to him, a rune of ancient nature, older than memory, a fragment once tied to the structure of existence, yet no longer part of its law, perhaps removed, perhaps abandoned, perhaps severed during the shattering, a principle without a throne, and it sought a bearer. During the chaos of the shattering, the first Night Lord appeared, not a hero, not a chosen champion, a simple knight, nameless, unremarkable. He stood among the remains of battle. Around him lay silence and ruin. There he encountered a presence beyond understanding. From that moment, he was changed. He became H'Alster, a name meaning darkness. Not who he had been, but what he had become. He carried the night within himself, and from him the night spread, without limit, without preference. Creatures changed beneath its touch. Some resisted, some welcomed it. A small wolf became a creature of shadow. Beasts gained new purpose. Every being touched by the night carried part of its essence. Many vessels. One night, the world began to change. In this reality, the Erdtree vanished. Its light faded. Its certainty dissolved. The land itself transformed. Limgrave became the final boundary of existence, a place where reality weakened, a place where destiny faltered. The night did not conquer. It absorbed, slowly, Inevitably, yet not all accepted this fate. From distant lands came warriors called the Nightfarers. They shared no origin. They shared no history. They shared only resolve. They walked into endless darkness. They resisted until nothing remained of them. Their struggle sought no victory. It was an act of defiance, a refusal to vanish. They were guided by ancient peoples who foresaw the coming night. These ancients prepared a ritual. They became the foundation of resistance. Their bodies rest in sealed chambers beneath the round table. 8 silent vessels, 8 promises of continued struggle, a cycle of resistance against inevitability. Even the Night Lord had once been restrained, bound by blade and sacred art, proof that resistance had existed before, proof that even certainty could be delayed, but never forever. And so the world moved toward its final dusk, a realm where grace and night stood opposed, where destiny trembled, where darkness threatened to reshape existence. And yet, even here, a fragile hope remained. For where there is night, there are always those who seek morning. Tonight, we have only touched the first shadows. We have felt the slow arrival of night, but deeper truths remain hidden. In the next part, we walk among the ancient tribe who foresaw the coming darkness. We uncover the secret buried beneath the roots of the Erd tree, a secret some call the original sin. Before the rise of radiant order, the world existed in a quieter state. Life and death moved in balance. Growth and decay followed one another without conflict. Nothing was fixed. Nothing was eternal. The flow of existence remained unbroken. Birth followed decline. Light followed darkness. Darkness followed light. This balance was the natural state of the world. And deep beneath the surface, there lived a people who understood this truth. They are remembered only in fragments. Ancient records speak of a tribe that lived close to the roots of the great tree, a people who listened to the slow language of earth. They observed cycles. They observed decay. They observed the quiet return of all things. To them, darkness was not an enemy. Darkness was rest. Darkness was renewal. Darkness was necessary. These people possessed a strange gift. They were known as those who cut, not warriors, not destroyers. They cut away what had grown stagnant. They believed that growth without end brought corruption. They believed that endless light produced imbalance. When something grew beyond its place, they returned it to silence. This was their sacred duty. This was their gift. They served the great roots beneath the earth. Those roots carried memory. Those roots carried life. Those roots connected all living things. The tribe believed that the roots must remain pure. When corruption appeared, it had to be removed. Without this act, balance would fail. For a long age, their duty preserved harmony. Life continued. Death continued. The world remained whole. But change was coming. A power unlike any before began to stir. A power that rejected cycles. A power that desired permanence. A power that would later be called order. When the great tree began to grow in strength, its light expanded across the land. Its radiance did not fade. Its presence did not weaken. It promised stability. It promised control. It promised eternity. Many welcomed this promise, but the tribe beneath, the roots felt unease. They understood that endless growth carried danger. They understood that permanence breaks balance. They saw something forming within the roots, a concentration of power, a presence that resisted decay, a force that refused return. This was the beginning of imbalance. This was the first disturbance. And so the tribe prepared to act. Their sacred duty demanded intervention. They would cut away the source of corruption. They would restore balance. They descended into the deepest chambers of the roots. They entered a place where light and darkness struggled. They found something vast, something living, something that should not have endured. Accounts of what they discovered remain unclear. Some say it was a fragment of divine power. Some say it was the seed of eternal order. Some say it was a law made flesh. Whatever it was, it rejected the natural cycle. It resisted removal. It resisted return to silence. The tribe attempted the sacred act. They attempted to cut. They attempted to restore balance. But this act changed everything. The removal of this power created a wound within existence, a break in the natural flow, a division between life and death, a separation between order and balance. This act would later be called the first sin. From that moment, the world could no longer return to its former state. The cycle had been disturbed. Something had been severed. Something had been hidden. Something had been denied. In response to this act, a new vision emerged. A vision of perfect order. A vision where decay would no longer threaten existence. A vision where death itself could be controlled. From this vision, the golden order would one day rise. The tribe who performed the cutting did not survive unchanged. Some vanished. Some were cast aside. Some became guardians of sealed knowledge. Their history faded into silence, but their act shaped all that followed. For by separating decay from order, the world lost its balance. By denying natural return, existence became unstable. And where balance is denied, forces of correction arise. The night is one such force. The night restores what was removed. The night returns what was denied. It does not punish. It restores balance. Thus the first sin and the coming night share a bond. One created imbalance. The other seeks to resolve it. One attempted control. The other brings inevitability. Beneath the great roots, traces of this ancient act remain. Deep chambers hold sealed memory. Silent vessels preserve forgotten truth. The earth remembers what the world above has chosen to forget. Some who study these secrets believe the night Lord, is not a destroyer. They believe he is correction. They believe he is the answer to the first sin, a restoration of the broken cycle. But restoration carries its own cost. To restore balance, all things must return to silence. All things must return to rest. Even light, even order, even the world itself. And so the ancient tribe foresaw what others could not. They understood that imbalance would one day invite a greater force. They understood that denied darkness would return. They prepared for this future. They prepared rituals. They prepared seals. They prepared resistance. But they also prepared acceptance. For they knew that some truths cannot be prevented. From their knowledge grew later traditions, guardians of sealed power, watchers of forbidden truth, keepers of the memory of the first sin. Their purpose was simple: delay the inevitable, preserve the world for as long as possible. Yet time moves without mercy. A wound within existence cannot remain hidden forever. Balance demands restoration, and the night waits patiently. In the ages that followed, the golden order would rise to full dominion. Light would claim the world. Death would be restrained. The natural cycle would be replaced by perfect law. But beneath that radiant order, the consequences of the first sin endured, silent, waiting, and in time, those consequences would awaken. They would take form in a vessel. They would walk the world. They would carry the power of correction. They would become the Night Lord. The night did not first appear as a force. It did not begin as a storm or a tide. It arrived through a person, a vessel, a man whose name is lost, a man who became something else. Long after the first sin, long after order spread across the land, a great conflict shattered the world. War consumed the realm. Power struggled against power. Grace struggled against fate. Order struggled against its own limits. This was the age of ruin. This was the breaking of stability. In this age of chaos, countless lives were lost. Fields of battle became mountains of bodies. The earth drank deeply of blood. The boundary between life and death weakened. The world trembled. From this place of devastation, one figure rose, a warrior, a knight, a survivor of terrible slaughter. He emerged from beneath the fallen. He crawled from a mountain of the dead. He had lost everything: name, purpose, identity. Only one thing remained: a will to endure, a will to continue. In that moment of silence, when life and death stood close together, something answered him, something ancient, something patient, something waiting since the first sin. The night found him. It did not speak. It did not command. It entered, a presence without shape, took root within the broken warrior. Power filled the empty space inside him. He became a vessel, a bearer of the night, a living channel for cosmic balance. From that moment, the nameless night ceased to exist. A new being was born, The first Night Lord. This transformation was not simple. It was not a blessing. It was a merging. The will of a man joined with the force of correction. Human struggle combined with cosmic purpose. Within him formed a rune, a symbol of immense power, a law that did not belong to the existing order, a law that represented the coming night. This rune possessed authority, similar to the great runes of order, yet it stood apart. It was not part of established law. It was not recognized by the Golden Order. It existed outside their system. The rune represented inevitability, the return of balance, the end of imposed control. Through this power, the Night Lord gained strange abilities. He could alter fate. He could reshape existence. He could extend the reach of darkness. Where he walked, reality bent, yet he did not act alone. The power within him came from something greater, a vast cosmic presence, a force beyond mortal understanding. Many scholars believe the night itself is guided by an outer power, a distant cosmic being, linked to darkness and fate, a presence without clear form, a power that exists beyond the world. This unseen source expresses itself through symbols, strange lights, pale radiance, forms that resemble openings within reality, signs of a will that observes from beyond. The Night Lord served as its vessel. Through him, the cosmic power could touch the world. Through him, balance could be restored. But the night does not spread through command alone. It spreads through influence. It changes those it touches. Creatures exposed to its presence transform. Beasts gain unnatural strength. Warriors gain new purpose. Souls abandon former identity. The night reshapes destiny. Some resist, some fear, some welcome the change. For the night offers release from fate. It offers freedom from imposed order. It offers equal silence for all. One such being was a creature of instinct, a beast once bound by natural law. When touched by the night, it gained awareness. It gained will. It became a lord in its own right. Thus the night created followers, each carrying a fragment of its power, each spreading its influence further. The night multiplied. Where this power spread, the world began to change. Land distorted, structures decayed, light weakened, time itself became uncertain. Regions touched by the night slowly vanished. Their existence unraveled. Their memory faded. Reality withdrew from them. This process did not resemble destruction. It resembled erasure, a return to silence, a return to the state before imbalance. The Night Lord stood at the center of this transformation, not as conqueror, not as tyrant, but as agent of inevitability. Yet resistance emerged. Not all would accept this return. Not all would surrender the world. Warriors gathered. Scholars prepared rituals. Ancient seals were formed. Efforts began to restrain the Night Lord. At some distant moment, they succeeded. Weapons pierced him. Sacred power bound him. His body was restrained. His influence was delayed. But delay is not victory. The night does not fade. It waits. Even bound, the Night Lord continued to exist. His presence endured. His power persisted. The cosmic force within him remained patient. For the night measures time differently. It does not hurry. It does not fear. It knows that balance must eventually return. As ages passed, new generations forgot the true nature of the threat. Records faded, memories weakened, but the night continued its silent work. Its influence reached distant lands. Its call touched chosen individuals. Those who could resist its pull were drawn toward confrontation. These would later be known as Nightfarers. Their destiny was to face the Night Lord, to oppose correction itself, to struggle against inevitability. But even in resistance, the night shapes events. For struggle is part of balance. Conflict restores equilibrium. Opposition strengthens purpose. Thus, the rise of the Night Lord begins a greater cycle. Suppression leads to return. Return leads to struggle. Struggle leads to change. And behind all events, the cosmic power watches, silent, endless, patient, as the night spread across the world. Resistance emerged. Those who rejected the silence gathered. These were called the Nightfarers. The Nightfarers do not come from one place. They share no homeland. They share no single history. They are drawn from distant lands, different ages, different paths of life. Some were warriors. Some were seekers of truth. Some carried guilt. Some carried loss. Each arrives for a different reason, yet all share one purpose: to confront the night. They do not gather by choice. They are drawn, called by something older than memory, a pull they cannot ignore, a quiet force guiding their steps. This guidance does not resemble command. It resembles gravity, a slow movement toward destiny, a feeling that resistance is impossible, a certainty that their path leads toward one place. Limveld. Limveld is the final region touched by the night, a land distorted by the power of fate, a place where reality weakens, a place where the world itself begins to disappear. Within this fatting land stands a refuge beyond time, a sanctuary untouched by decay. The Round Table. The Round Table exists outside the flow of ordinary reality. It is neither fully present nor fully absent, a place suspended between moments, a shelter against the endless night. Here the Nightfarers gather. Here they prepare. Here they return after each struggle. The Round Table becomes their home, their prison, their final harbor. This sanctuary did not appear by accident. It was prepared long ago, constructed by an ancient people who foresaw the coming of night. These ancients understood the danger. They believed resistance would require sacrifice, and so they performed a ritual of binding, a ritual of preparation. Deep beneath the round table lies a silent crypt. Within this chamber rest 8 stone coffins, each sealed, each waiting, each holding the remains of those who chose to become the foundation. These ancient figures gave themselves willingly. They accepted burial before death. They became anchors for the future. Their purpose was simple: to guide their descendants, to draw chosen warriors to this place, to prepare resistance against the night. Their sacrifice created a bond across generations, a call that echoes through time, a signal that only certain souls can hear. The Nightfarers are those souls. They are the descendants of ancient will. They are the answer to a warning spoken long ago. The ritual that binds them is powerful. It draws minds across distance. It gathers those capable of resistance. It unites strangers through shared destiny. Yet this calling carries a terrible cost. Those drawn to the round table cannot simply leave. They are bound by purpose, bound by fate, bound by duty. They must confront the Night Lord. They must attempt to end the spreading darkness. Only then may they be released. Between each struggle, the round table renews them. Wounds fade, strength returns, time pauses within its halls. It is a place of recovery, a place of preparation, a place of waiting. The round table resembles a vessel, a ship floating upon an endless sea of darkness. Beyond its walls, the night advances without pause. Within its halls, there is temporary peace. Yet even peace has a keeper, a guide who watches over the sanctuary, a figure bound to the round table itself. The priestess serves as navigator. She interprets the will that guides the Nightfarers. She speaks the words that shape their mission. She maintains the balance of the sanctuary. Her existence is tied to the round table. She cannot leave. Her fate and its fate are one. If the sanctuary falls, she will fade with it. This binding is not chosen. It is imposed, a duty placed upon her by ancient design, a role without escape. Through her voice, a mysterious presence speaks, a power without clear form, a guiding force that directs the Nightfarers. Some call this presence the Formless Master. Its nature remains uncertain. It may be divine. It may be a manifestation of grace. It may be a reflection of higher will. No one knows with certainty, yet its message remains constant. Resist the night. Unite your strength. Strike down the Night Lord. Thus the Nightfarers prepare for endless struggle. They depart from the round table. They face the spreading darkness. They fall. They return. They rise again. Their mission follows a cycle. 3 days of trial. 3 stages of approach. Each day the night grows stronger. Each day the world grows weaker. On the final day, the night reaches its greatest power. Reality itself begins to collapse. The land trembles. Existence thins. Only confrontation remains. Why do the Nightfarers continue? Why accept such burden? Why embrace endless struggle? Each carries personal reasons. Some seek redemption, some seek truth, some seek release from guilt. The night reveals hidden burdens. It forces all to face their past. Yet beneath personal motive lies deeper truth. They fight because they must. They fight because the ritual demands it. They fight because destiny allows no other path. The ancient ones believed this cycle necessary. They believed only constant resistance could delay the return of night. Thus the Round Table becomes both refuge and chain. It protects, it restores, it binds. The Nightfarers stand between two forces: the night that seeks balance, the order that fears change. Between these powers, they struggle to preserve existence. Their story is one of endurance, of sacrifice, of duty without certainty. They fight without promise of victory. They fight without guarantee of survival. They fight because the world still breathes. Grace is not merely light. It is direction. It is purpose. It is the quiet pressure that guides a soul toward a chosen path. Those who feel grace describe it as warmth, a presence within the heart, a gentle pull that reveals where one must go. It does not speak with words. It speaks through certainty. Within the Round Table, grace shines at the center. It is the source of guidance, the source of mission, the source of hope. It opposes the coming night. Yet grace does not reach all equally. It favors some. It ignores others. It chooses. This is its nature. And here lies the great conflict. For the night touches all things equally. Grace selects. The night embraces. Two forces, two visions of existence. The Nightfarers stand between them, guided by grace, yet fighting the spread of night. At the heart of this guidance stands the priestess. She is the voice of the Round Table, the interpreter of the unseen will, the keeper of the sanctuary. Her role is sacred. Her burden is absolute. She cannot abandon her duty. She cannot escape her fate. The priestess is bound to the Round Table. Her life and its existence are joined. If the sanctuary fades, she will vanish with it. This binding was placed long ago, a design created by the ancient founders, a sacrifice demanded for the survival of others. She serves a mysterious power, a presence without body, a will without shape. This presence is called the Formless Master. Its nature remains unclear. Some believe it is divine. Some believe it is a fragment of grace itself. Some believe it is the will of a distant power. The priestess does not question. She listens. She speaks what she receives. She delivers its command. The message never changes. Unite. Resist the night. Destroy the Night Lord. This guidance shapes every expedition. Each mission begins with her words. Each struggle follows her direction. Each hope depends upon her faith. Yet there is tragedy in her duty. Unlike the Nightfarers, she will not be freed by victory. If the night is defeated, the round table will dissolve, and with it, the priestess will fade, her purpose fulfilled, her existence complete. This fate reveals the cost of order, one life bound to preserve many, one soul sacrificed to maintain balance. Some ancient writings speak of a hidden path, a way to free the priestess, a method to change fate itself. These writings were left by the ancient founders, those who prepared the ritual, those who foresaw the coming night. They questioned the justice of this burden. They asked whether their descendants should suffer for ancient mistakes. They searched for release, for the true sin may not belong to the warriors, nor to the priestess, but to the powers that shaped the world. Long ago, the natural balance of existence was altered. Forces were sealed away. Truth was hidden. The night was denied. When something natural is suppressed, it does not vanish. It grows. It waits. It returns with greater force. Thus the night became opposition. Thus the struggle became inevitable. Grace seeks order. The night seeks balance. Neither can fully destroy the other. The priestess stands at the center of this conflict, a voice of grace, a guardian of purpose, a prisoner of destiny. Through her, the round table remains stable. Through her, the nightfarers receive direction. Through her, the final confrontation becomes possible. Yet even she cannot see the full truth. She follows the light she is given. She trusts the will she serves. And so the cycle continues. Guidance, conflict, return, preparation, endless repetition. But every cycle moves toward one moment. The final encounter, the meeting between grace and night, the fate of the world decided. For ages beyond memory, the struggle endured, grace guiding, night spreading, warriors rising and falling. The cycle repeated, again and again. Each expedition prepared the path. Each sacrifice shaped the future. Every step moved the world toward a single moment, the final encounter. At last, that moment arrives. The Night Lord reveals itself, not as rage, not as cruelty, but as vast stillness, a presence that does not seek to destroy, a presence that seeks to quiet all things. The Night Lord is not merely an enemy. It is the will of the night itself, the embodiment of balance restored, the return of what was once denied. Before this presence, even the strongest hesitate, for the night offers peace. It offers release from struggle. It offers an end to suffering. A world without conflict. A world without desire. A world without pain. Grace answers this promise with something different. Not comfort, not rest, but purpose, movement, choice, becoming. The right to struggle, the right to chain, the right to exist with meaning. Two visions of existence stand opposed. Perfect stillness, endless motion, balance against will, silence against purpose. The nightfarers carry this conflict within themselves. They have seen the calm of the night. They have felt the pull of its peace. Yet they continue forward, not because they reject rest, but because they choose life. The final battle is not merely a clash of power. It is a decision, a declaration of what the world shall become. Grace burns brighter than ever before. Its light gathers. Its warmth spreads through those who still resist. The round table trembles. The sanctuary weakens. The priestess feels the end approaching. She speaks one final command. Unite, end the night, fulfill the purpose of grace. The confrontation reshapes reality itself. Light and shadow merge. Silence and sound collapse together. The boundary between existence and absence trembles. And then the Night Lord falls. The victory is not loud. There is no great cry, no celebration, only chain. The endless darkness begins to recede, not destroyed, not erased, but returned to its rightful place. Balance restored. Light spreads across the horizon, slowly, gently, like dawn after a long winter. The world remembers movement. Time begins to flow again. Wind returns. Waters stir. Life continues. The age of night ends. Yet victory carries a cost. The round table begins to fade. Its purpose fulfilled. Its duty complete. The sanctuary that guided countless souls dissolves into quiet light. And the priestess, she does not resist. Her task is finished. Her burden lifted. She fades with the sanctuary she protected. Not in sorrow, but in peace. A life given for the future of many. A sacrifice that preserved the world. Grace itself grows silent. Its guidance no longer needed. The path now belongs to those who walk it. The age of direction becomes the age of choice. The warriors who remain feel something unfamiliar. Freedom, no command, no destiny imposed, only possibility. But the ending of Nightreign is not the ending of all things, for the night still exists. It waits beyond the veil, a natural part of existence, a reminder of balance, a shadow that ensures light never grows absolute. The world continues between these forces, light and dark, order and balance, struggle and rest, neither fully dominant, neither fully gone. This is the lesson of Nightreign. That suppression creates conflict. That balance demands acceptance. That even opposing forces share a single truth. Existence requires both. The stars shine once more. The land breathes again. The long silence ends. And yet, in quiet places, when the world grows still, one may still feel the memory of the night. A gentle calm, a distant presence, not as threat, but as reminder. For every dawn carries the promise of dusk. Every age carries the seed of change. Every ending prepares a beginning. The story of Nightreign closes. The world moves forward, and the cycle of existence continues, endlessly, quietly, eternally, Rest now. The struggle has ended. The world endures, and sleep comes gently.